Hello students, welcome back to our new session, that is chapter 10, respiration in organisms. Previous video I had already explained about the breathing mechanism and the model of our respiratory system. Today we will study about what do we breathe out. When we breathe out, it contains more carbon dioxide. How can we prove that? Our exhale air contains carbon dioxide. For that, one activity is given to check the presence of carbon dioxide in inhaled air. What materials we are needed? Test tube is needed, straw, stand, then freshly prepared lime water and a lid or a cork. The method is take a clean test tube, make a hole in the lid or the cork. Then pour some freshly prepared lime water in the test tube. Close the test tube with the cork. Freshly prepared lime water is colorless. Insert a plastic straw through the hole in the cork such a way that it dips in the lime water. So when we will put this straw in the test tube which contains lime water, the one end of the straw should be kept in the lime water. Now blow gently through the straw for a few minutes. You have to blow with your mouth through that straw. Observe the change in the appearance of lime water. So after few minutes, if you will blow and then observe the color change seen in the lime water. I told freshly prepared lime water is totally colorless, and now after blowing with your mouth, you can see slowly and slowly the colorless liquid will change into milky color. What is the reason behind it? What chemical reaction takes place here? Through blowing carbon dioxide, exhale, chemical reacts with lime water and makes the insoluble calcium carbonate. That means when we will blow with our mouth, the air which contains carbon dioxide, which comes through the straw, mixes with the lime water, there is a chemical reaction takes place, and slowly lime water, its chemical name is calcium hydroxide, combines with the carbon dioxide, forming an insoluble calcium carbonate, that is white precipitate, that is why it is milky in color, and water also will get. So from this experiment, what we can prove that exhaled air contains carbon dioxide. So here you see in this picture the presence of the percentage of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the inhaled and exhaled air. Inhaled air contains 21% oxygen and 0.04 carbon dioxide. And when it goes into the lungs, the exchange of gases takes place, and during exhalation, when the air comes out, it contains 16.4% oxygen and 4.4% carbon dioxide. That's why when we will breathe out, it contains more carbon dioxide, and that carbon dioxide enters into the atmosphere, and the trees, the green leaves of the trees during photosynthesis, they absorb the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and in turn during the preparation of food, they release oxygen gas. So that is why the nature's balance will be maintained by the trees and the green plants. So this is about the exhalation, and the quantity of carbon dioxide is more in the exhalation. Now you will study about breathing in other animals. Here some of the organisms you will study. First one is, you can see the picture, tracheal system of a cockroach. Animals such as elephants, lions, cows, goats, frogs, lizards, snakes, birds have lungs in their chest cavities like human beings. Among them, elephants, lions, cows, goats, etc. are mammals, and frogs, they are amphibians, snakes, lizards, etc. are reptiles, and birds are avians. So all these are having the respiratory system and the cavities, chest cavities like human beings. Now, how do other organisms breathe? So we will study some of the organisms, how they will breathe. First we will take cockroach. Cockroach is an insect, it is an invertebrate and it is having an exoskeleton. A cockroach has small openings on the sides of the body. You can see on the screen, both the sides there is a tubular structure is there which is called trachea. Other insects also have similar openings. So you can see in this figure the other cockroaches having the tracheal tubular structure called trachea. These openings are called spiracles. So in both the sides there is tubular structure which contains the opening. They are called spiracles. Insects having a network of air tubes called tracheae for gas exchange. Oxygen-rich air rushes through the spiracles into the tracheal tubes, diffuses into the body tissue, and reaches every cell of the body. So here directly the exchange of gases takes place. From the outside, the air enters into the trachea through the small opening called spiracles on both the sides of the body. That air, oxygenated air, rushes into the tracheal tubes through spiracles. Diffusion takes place. So that means oxygenated air enters into the body tissue and reaches every cell of the body. Similarly, carbon dioxide from the cells goes into the tracheal tubes and moves out through spiracles. These air tubes or tracheae are found only in insects and not in any other group of animals. So these tracheal tubes are only seen in the case of insects. Now next comes another one, invertebrate, earthworm. Earthworm, you had studied something about chapter 9 about earthworm, the movements of earthworm. Earthworm breathe through their skins. The skin of an earthworm feels moist and slimy on touching. Gases can easily pass through them. Though frogs have a pair of lungs like human beings, they can also breathe through their skin, which is moist and slippery. So in the case of earthworm is generally seen in a moist soil and its body itself is slippery, slimy and moist, and the whole skin can absorb the oxygen from the atmosphere and the oxidation takes place in the body. Gases can easily pass through this moist skin. In the case of frogs are amphibians. They are having a proper pair of lungs. Apart from that, its skin also can breathe. When it is in water, it can breathe through the help of skin. Its skin is also slimy as well as slippery and wet. They can also breathe through their skin, which is moist and slippery. So this is about earthworm. So cockroaches are having spiracles, small openings, and tubular structure called tracheae through which the exchange of gases takes place. In the case of earthworm, the skin is moist and wet as well as it is slippery and the exchange of gases takes place. In the case of frogs, It has a proper respiratory system like human beings having the lungs. Apart from that, the skin is also wet as well as slippery, and it can breathe through the skin when it is in the water. Now comes the next part of the lesson, breathing underwater. That means those animals which are living in water. If he will ask to you, can you breathe and survive in water? No. We people, human beings, cannot survive in water as we are terrestrial animals. We can absorb oxygen from the atmosphere only, and we cannot breathe in water. There are many organisms which live in water and how they do breathe underwater. You had already studied standard 6 about the gills of the fish, which help them to use oxygen dissolved in water. Gills are projections in the skin. You can see the picture of the fish. See, some projections are seen on the sides just below the eyes. There will be a projections which is called openings, gills. You may wonder how gills help in breathing. You are knowing how the fish breathe. When the fish always moves in water, the gills are well supplied with blood vessels for exchange of gases. So how the fish will breathe in water? So when the water enters through the mouth of the fish, then the oxygen present in the water is absorbed by the blood vessels in the gills, and the exchange of gases takes place, and after that they will close the mouth and the gills opening will open and the flap will open. The water, excess water which entered will comes out. So during that time the exchange of gases takes place. It can only absorb the oxygen present in the water. Now our question, do plants also respire? Whether the plants also will respire or not. Like other living organisms, plants also respire for their survival. Because you had already studied, there is a small opening at the back side of the leaves which is called stomata, and leaves are called the respiratory organ of a plant, and this through this stomata is guarded by guard cells and a small opening through which the exchange of gases takes place. During the respiration, oxygen will be enters into the stomata and enters into the plant, and the exchange of gases takes place, and the carbon dioxide comes out through the stomata. And during photosynthesis, the reverse it will take place. They will absorb the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere through the stomata, and the photosynthesis or preparation of starch or the food will take place, and oxygen gas will comes out, that will be released through this stomata. So we can say during respiration also stomata is useful, and during exchange of gases oxygen is released, carbon dioxide is released, that time also stomata is useful. And excess water vapor, when the roots are absorbing more and more water and the food materials are prepared, remaining water which cannot collect in the leaves or other parts of the plant, then it will decay. So excess water will comes out through the stomata, and that will vaporize and it will convert into water vapor. They also take oxygen from the air and give out carbon dioxide. That leaves always takes oxygen from the atmosphere during breathing and gives out carbon dioxide. In the cells, oxygen is used to break down glucose into carbon dioxide and water as other living organisms. In the plants, each part can independently take in oxygen from the air and give out carbon dioxide. So for us, only through the nose we can take, or maximum through the mouth also we can take the air, and the exchange of gases takes place. But in the case of plants, not only leaves, other parts of the plant also can independently take oxygen from the atmosphere and gives out carbon dioxide. The leaves of plants have tiny pores called stomata for exchange of oxygen as well as carbon dioxide. Like all other living cells of the plants, the root cells also need oxygen to generate energy. So, different parts of the plant also can exchange gases, I told just now. So, the roots also need energy to absorb the water and minerals from the soil. So, it also do the function. So, it needs to generate energy. So, the roots take up air from the air spaces present between the soil particles. So, roots can absorb the oxygen from the soil particles and the energy can be utilized. Like other all living things of the plants, the root cells also need oxygen to generate energy. So, this is about the plants. So, next part you can see now. Look at the picture here. The plants, the roots of the plants also has the root cells which can also absorb the oxygen present in the soil particles. So root hair is there is air space through which it can absorb. Now the last part of the chapter, what you had learned, just I will revise one time. Today what all the full main points of the chapter, just I want to recollect. In this chapter you learned that the respiration is a vital biological process. All living organisms need to respire to get energy needed for their survival. So whether it is a plant or a animal, everything needs the oxygen for the survival, and to release energy they need oxygen. There are two types of respiration, that is aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. So first point, respiration is an essential for survival of living organisms. It releases energy from the food. Second point, the oxygen we inhale is used to break down glucose into carbon dioxide and water. Energy is released in this process. The breakdown of glucose occurs in the cells of an organism, that is called a cellular respiration. If the food is broken in with the use of oxygen or with the help of oxygen, it is called aerobic respiration. If the breakdown occurs without the use of oxygen or in the absence of oxygen, that respiration is called anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration generally takes place in some microscopic organism like yeast. During heavy exercise, when the supply of oxygen to our muscle cells is insufficient, food breakdown is by anaerobic respiration. In our body, sometimes due to heavy exercise or due to some other studious activities like running, jumping, etc., our muscles needed more oxygen and more energy. That time the quantity or sufficient oxygen is not available. Such cases, in the absence of oxygen, the glucose will break down and convert into lactic acid, which will be accumulated in the cells or muscles and it may cause some muscle cramps or pain. When we will take hot water bath or massage, then or we will take some rest. Slowly and slowly this muscle cramp will be removed. Breathing is a part of the process of respiration during which an organism takes in oxygen-rich air and gives out air rich in carbon dioxide. The respiratory organs for the exchange of gases vary in different organisms. So most of the higher organisms, there are a pair of lungs, chest cavity, trachea, etc. Nostrils, internal nasal cavity, etc. are there. And in lower organisms like earthworm, cockroach, etc., the different type of respiration takes place. In the case of cockroach, there is spiracles and tracheal tubes are there through which the exchange of gases takes place. In the case of earthworm, the whole skin itself is wet and slippery and moist, through which the exchange of gases takes place. And in the case of frogs, it is an amphibian. Even though there is a pair of lungs and chest cavity is present, but when it is in the water, its skin acting as a respiratory organ, so its skin is wet, moist and slippery. And in the case of animals living in water, that is especially the fish, having some projection, skin projection called gills, which can absorb the oxygen dissolved in water during respiration, and these gills are completely supplied with the blood vessels, and when the water enters through the mouth into the fish body, the gills which contains there are blood vessels, and that blood vessels absorb the oxygen from the water, and oxidation takes place, energy is released, and the carbon dioxide will be coming back, which will be exhaled and enters into the water. That water will comes out through the gills as exhalation. During inhalation, our lungs expand and then comes back to the original state as the air moves out during exhalation. Increased physical activity enhances the rate of breathing. When we are normally, we will breathe in normal conditions, and when we are doing some physical exercises, jumping, running, or doing some heavy weightlifting, etc., more oxygen is needed, more energy needed, so the rate of breathing is also increases. Normal persons, healthy persons, it will be between, we can say 15 to 18. It depends upon person to person. Gents having more rate of breathing than ladies, and young children rate of breathing is more than the adults. In animals like cow, buffalo, dog and cat, the respiratory organs and the process of breathing are similar to those of humans, because buffalo, dog, etc. are also mammals. In earthworm, the exchange of gases occurs through the moist skin, and fishes it takes place through gills, and in insects through the trachea. In plants, the root takes in air present in the soil. Leaves have tiny holes called stomata, through which the exchange of gases takes place. The breakdown of glucose in the plant cells is similar to that of living cells. So the whole chapter and the main points also I had explained. So students, I hope you had followed the chapter. So I am going to wind up this lesson. Now your new exam date also came on the global board. I hope everybody had seen. We had already completed the chapters which are covered for the exam. In the case of 7th standard and 8th standard, lesson number 5 to 8 are there. Up to 7th lesson revision also we had done. Coming days, we will do the 8th lesson also one time revision, and the worksheet also we will send sidewise, so you can study and you can solve the answers. So till then, goodbye, take care.